Hey Capricorns, and welcome back to Deku Tarot and to your weekly tarot and astrology for June 29th through July 5th of 2020. There, got the date right. I keep saying it wrong. So I can't believe that it is the end of June already. We're coming up on a really big astrological moment for you guys. We have the July 5th full moon lunar eclipse in your sign, and we did just have that new moon eclipse in Cancer, your 7th house. So as you guys know and have definitely noticed, you guys have been having eclipses on and off since I want to say like 2018 now, and because of the node change, I do believe this might be the last round of it for you guys, as the nodes have moved into Gemini and Sagittarius. So let me know in the comments, the changes and how these eclipses have really shifted your life, what they've kind of brought in for you guys in the comments. I asked Cancer the same question. I'm just kind of curious. I think it's been a really interesting, as a Cancer rising, it's been a really interesting and intense few years for me. So anyways, we're going to be using the Tarot Muka here to look at your week ahead. And we also have another big astrological thing going on with your sign this week. We have quite a lot of planets in your sign. I think it's Pluto and Jupiter as well. We also have Saturn retrograding in your sign from July 2nd to December 14th. So that's a lot. We have Pluto and Jupiter conjunct actually most of July. We'll talk more about that in the July monthlies, but yeah, that's a lot of Capricornian energy. It's a lot of your energy and focus here, Capricorn, and that will be focused on for quite a while. So interesting. If you guys haven't, do make sure to subscribe, do make sure to share. Let's check out this tarot. I was hoping one would pop out by now. Oh, if you want to come out, you can come out a different way. All right, Capricorns. Okay. You guys have a lot of energy coursing through you this week, that's for sure. A lot to do with your energy, at least. Wow. Okay. We might need to pull a clarifier here and there, but this can be a bit of a kind of difficult feeling week. And it's going, like I was saying, there's going to be a lot of energy involved, a lot of your energy, and you could be very focused and in the midst of a decision that you feel very burdened with. You don't really know what to do about a situation. You don't know which way to go. Or again, this might just have to be a yes or no decision. Something that you need to choose here. Like, do I stay or do I go? And in terms of a work situation for some of you. Or when is holding on too much? When have I been holding on too much here is kind of a question that I'm also getting for you guys, and not really being able to make a clear decision about when to let go of all those wands you've been carrying. There's a lot of burdensome, heavier energy here. It feels like more at the yeah, it's very different from the end of the week here. So at the start of the week and even into the middle of the week, we get the moon there in the center with the 9 of Wands reversed. The moon brings up our deeper fears, our internal, it's kind of the dark side here of us, the shadow side. It brings up the shadow aspects, not just of ourselves, but of what we have been trying to keep at bay. What is the worry about all of this? Where does the anxiety come from? And that's where I get here is with the 9 of Wands reversed, you're less defensive about it, less ready to fight someone or not talk about it. It's a little bit more open. When I get the 9 of Wands reversed, it feels like your defenses are down. We put down the weapons and we're ready to talk. We're ready to face something. We're not going to try to numb it, ignore it, push it away. And it's that Cancerian energy, or maybe, yeah, needing to really sit with our feelings as Cancers do. sitting in their shells, taking the time out to really work through emotions, to feel what they need to feel in their own private way. And that's what I feel for you guys this week, Capricorn. There's a lot of, I mean, all of these eclipses have really pushed at you and have really asked you, you know, where we hold back too much, where we open up too much, where we rely on ourselves or rely on others too much. There's a lot of weight that we're carrying about this, and it feels, you know, this feels like, you know, in between the eclipses is how we're going to say this. Really, it's hard to put this into words, especially when Mercury is retrograding right now, so forgive my speech. I feel like I can't speak a sentence normally when Mercury is retrograde, as most readers I feel find as well. But it's needing to sit in our emotions and be open to what comes through, whether it's dark, whether it's light, whether it feels good or not, and to just sit with it, to not be upset by it, to not turn away from it, to not try again to numb it, to look away, to push it on somebody else, to take our responsibility to really look at something, feel through it, and do it in our own quiet way. So again, take time out that you need this week, because you're very burdened by a lot of whatever has been coming up for you guys, whatever the shadow aspects of relationships, of yourself, of, you know, where you don't open up enough, where you aren't honest, you know, not just with yourself, but maybe with others in the relationship. Again, there's a lot of relationship focus, it feels for me here. And needing to take a new way forward, needing to find a different way to communicate. If you really want things to change, you're going to have to change as well. You're going to have to go about this a different way. And yeah, relying on others and being open there, you know, showing up with exactly what somebody else is giving you. If somebody's saying, I'm giving you this and you're not giving me this in the relationship, then you need to listen. Whether, you know, you want to be defensive and say, yes, I am, and all this. It's about approaching this differently if you want a better outcome. It's about approaching this with love, understanding, and forgiveness. And also maybe seeing this again from, I don't see the Hangman here, but sometimes it's all about the cards for me that aren't there. And this whole reading has that kind of Hangman vibe of needing to look at this from a different situation, needing to look at our emotions, needing to look at the burdens of a situation. This could have a lot to do also with you needing to open up about problems in a relationship where you feel overburdened and you feel you have to take care of these X, Y, and Z things and the other person does not. You know, where you feel you have given these things, you know, where you have, you know, put in the effort for money, you put in the emotional effort, and you don't feel you're receiving it. So whatever that might be, again, whether it's you on that side or, you know, your partner has asked you for this on the other side and saying, you know, I need you to open up and communicate with me about these things. I need, like, let's talk about this. Let's try to, you know, work through this. It's needing to sit with your own emotions about it, really look at why you feel a certain way about these things, why you might feel attacked, or why you might feel like you're not getting enough, and finding a way to communicate no matter which side you're on here, because you're going to get to the sun, which is happiness, which is joy, which is liberation from the past. You know, he's not worried about it. It's just a joyful, wonderful, happy time of enlightenment and enlightened understanding. Whenever I see the sun, it feels like a light has been turned on, and now you can really see everything that's around you. You can really see it for what it is without the shadows tainting it, which is interesting that we have the moon and the sun there, as we are coming up on that solar eclipse. Is it a solar eclipse? Lunar eclipse, I'm sorry. Lunar eclipse in your sign, where we just had the solar eclipse in your sign of, or in your house of relationships in Cancer, where the sun is actually right now. So yeah, we have to really look at the three swords. Why were they there? Why did we feel these things? And why might we still be feeling these things and having them come up? It's not something to ignore. It's not something to try to not have a conversation about. Mercury retrograde, can we stop this now? Oh my god, I really just want to be able to speak. Let's actually pull from the Les Tarot des Femmes Erotiques. I know that I butcher that, my French listeners. I'm sorry. I am not perfect. I studied Spanish for a long time. I did not study French. Anyways, let's pull some of these. Because, yeah, that Three of Swords is there, but I just want to say, like, don't be worried about that, because that is just that shadow aspect. You have to face that to get to the Two of Cups. It's working through these issues. It's working through these problems. It's seeing that, you know, seeing what you need rather than settling for less and letting it slowly hurt you, like that Three of Swords. Or trying to approach it from that way and just hurting each other. Whew. Anyways, let's pull these guys. Capricorn. One at a time. Okay. Oh, this is very cute. Okay. Ace of Cups is reversed. So again, let's just be honest. It feels like a lot of you, whatever this is coming up as, I feel like some of you, this is like the remnants or that aftermath, that dark time after a really bad fight, a really bad row, you know what I mean? But Ace of Cups is reversed. I'm going to hold her up right just so you can see here, the gift of loving. Somebody has been hurt here. There's been an emotional outburst that we've had a hard time. And then we get peace after pain, though. And I like that. That is still the Two of Swords, but it's more at ease. It's more peaceful. Now we can decide where we go from here and what actions we will take. And I do feel that that's where we're at this week. That's kind of the crux. We've been hurt. Our heart has needed to pour out. Something has brought an emotional upset and upheaval to our life there. And we need to find some peace after it and figure out where we go from here and how we approach this. We're not going to approach it like we used to. We're going to take our time with it and see what the best way forward is. See what the best way to communicate and move forward in this situation really is. All right, Capricorn, those are your messages for this week. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it. And I thank you guys so much for all of your support. Do make sure to check me out over on Instagram. I try to post on there as much as possible, but I've been, you know, taking steps back from social media. I feel that it's very all-consuming, and with certain things that have been happening in my life and that I've just been through, I've needed to take some steps back and do things for my own mental health here. So if I don't post on Instagram as much, you know, that's probably why right now. It's just a difficult time. And I thank you guys again for all of your kind messages and support. I appreciate it. And, oh, if you want to book a private reading, all that information is below in the description box. I always almost forget to remind you guys that. And if you want to use my code for 30% off of an astrology, numerology, compatibility analysis, which is super in-depth, like literally 22 pages from Truly Divine, please use my code Deku30. All that information is also in the description box below. Have a wonderful and blessed week, my lovely Capricorns. Namaste.